Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. All right, welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Myself, and I am Dr. Cush. We are here tonight to complete Tiki Tom's dreams. It's important that we make dreams come true on this show, and that is what we're here to do. We are going to be making our homemade tonic. Now, of course, tonic has a bit of a history. We're going to get into it. We're going to figure out what exactly is tonic. We are going to make my homemade tonic that I made for many years in bars that for some reason did not have the Q button. I'll explain to you what the Q button is, and from there we will party on. And then afterwards, oh gosh, we're gonna have to find a way to make a gin and tonic at some point. So that's what we're up to today. Get ready, get set, go. And also, good evening to our good friend, Shawnee Pandabaker. Hello, Shawnee Pandabaker. Good to see you. Give me one moment while I see if I can't just adjust this situation over here, because for some reason we have Instagram being a real jerk about this. We're going to copy this. We're going to go over here. I know this is not interesting to what we're up to, but it is somewhat important. Paste. Okay. Let's see, does that change anything for our old friend Instagram? Not yet. All right. We'll keep it up just in case. Good evening to you, Shawnee Pandabaker. Always a pleasure, as they say, never a chore. Good evening to our good friend, Bonbon. Hello, Bonbon. Cheers to you. Did you shave yet? One of the best Halloween costumes I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, pop on over to Dr. Cush's Exotic After Hours. Bonbon dressed up as a good old Dr. Cush. So it was hilarious. I don't know why Bonbon and I look so much alike, but we do. Just happens to be, you know? Turns out, Bonbon, you also then kind of look like the king of the dwarves from the Hobbit movies, whatever his name is, Thorin Oakenshield. People told me I look, with the long beard, I look a little bit like Thorin Oakenshield. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. It's tough to tell. He had a lot of prosthetics on, so I don't look like the actor. I just look like the character. Greetings to you, Moose. Moose. Hello, Moose. Good to see you. Howdy to our good friend, Dougie G in. Turns out the place to be. Tiki Tom is excited for Saturday. I am also excited for Saturday. Davey Virtue. Hey-o. Missed a couple shows with Halloween going on. Get it. Got it. Totally understood. Do not worry about that. We love it when you're here, but we don't want to put any kind of weird strain on you to always feel like you need to be here. Davey Virtue, our 2,000 subscriber. We are now at 2,176 subscribers. So basically, we are one of the top shows in the world. Tiki Tom's missed some, but everybody's back. That's good. We're all here. We're all ready to make a little bit of tonic water. Oh, wait. What a new intro video. Yes, new intro video. New intro video. I'll just show you that real quick. That is a brand new intro video. Whenever we have dry ice at the bar, we use dry ice to reshoot the intro video. It's kind of what we're up to. So that's pretty fun. I gotta turn down this music now. Otherwise it's gonna go forever. Where's the music? I guess we can't turn. Oh, under music. There we go. We're just going to put stop on that. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Great job, Kyle. Cush owes you a raise. Kyle had nothing to do with that. Low Carb Cocktail Guy. Also been waiting for this class. Great. Low Carb Cocktail Guy can probably make you. I've seen it. I've seen it done before, but I'd like to see it done in action with the tonic, the low carb tonic water. That would be spectacular. Bonbon is now claiming she is Dr. Cush. That is identity theft, and I believe that is a felony. So, sorry, Bonbon, you are now a felon. That's how it works. Cush Oakenfield is now trending all over the place. So, we love that. Cheers to our cocktail Lulu. Spelling out Saturday for us. We needed that. It was time that we had it, and now we do, and now we are ready to go. Let's get in to this. Now, we're going to be making this direct from scratch, okay? A couple ground rules on this. A couple ground rules. We are going to be dealing with a very dangerous substance. It is called quinine. The reason that I make my tonic water like this and not with extract of quinine, which is something that you can buy. You can go out and buy quinine extract. I think you have to have some sort of license for it. I had one of those licenses when I worked at a bar. Apparently, when you manage a bar, you can get a license for just about anything. I had nitrous oxide delivered to me in huge tanks like I was a dentist or something. You are allowed to have that stuff when you are in food service. I didn't want that. And I'll tell you why. Too much quinine can make you go blind. We don't want anybody going blind. This is, as I've put a lot of work into the background, this is not a podcast that you can listen to without looking at it. I don't know if anybody's watching this or listening to this without the visuals. It's disgusting. Horrible. My voice is oscillating all over the place. Weird segments. You don't get to see my hands doing this all the time. It's crazy. Anyway, so please, oh please, be careful. I have made this quinine tonic syrup for about 10 years. It is, in my opinion, delicious. I have served it to a lot of people who have had a number of different gin and tonics, but I have never seen anybody go blind from this version. That is not to say that you cannot go blind from having too much quinine. You can. But I don't know about this version. I have just never seen it. So please limit your gin and tonics if you're using real quinine, okay? Second of all, my recipe has always called for a huge quantity because I used to run huge quantity bars. I do not run those quantity bars anymore. I only now run Dr. Cush's exotic drinks. I am down to just 1 bar. I started at like 10. I went down to 5 for a little while. I was running 2. That one ended last week, so now I'm down to 1 bar. I don't need that much. So I am going to tell you the large portions and how to make this stuff, but then I'm only going to make them in small portions. All right? So I'm going to tell you the large ones, but I'm only going to make them in small. So you can watch what I'm doing to make the small versions, but I will tell you how to make the large version. Okay? Deal? Deal. Third of all, we're going to start this now, and while this is boiling, I will tell you the story of quinine. I think that's important to know. So let's get to it. If you've ever opened up a bottle of tonic and thought, I'm going to make the healthy choice and not have a gin and, grapefruit juice or gin and Sprite, I'm going to do the sensible thing and have a quinine tonic, because quinine tonic, clearly it can't be as bad for you sugar-wise as all those other sodas. It actually is much worse. It usually is much worse. You have to put in a ton of sugar to this thing in order to make it taste like anything good at all. Quinine is disgusting. The taste of quinine is horrible. All right, so we have to sort of balance this out with a lot of sugar. So we're going to start with our sugar syrup. This right here is sugar. Oh, fun new angle here. Watch this. Boop. Oh, dang it. I thought it was going to be a little higher. We're going to just move this up a little bit. It's been falling. There we go. Right here. This right here, sugar. This is not Hartman's sugar. This is just a Hartman's glass. But this is regular old sugar. This is 1 cup. But in order to make this, you need to put in 4 cups of sugar. You need twice as much water. All right? We're going to be boiling some of this water off. So you need twice as much water. So we're going to be putting in 2 cups. But you would need, in order to make this in any kind of quantity, 8 cups of sugar. Sorry, what am I talking about? 1 cup of sugar. We need 8 cups of water. So it's really 2 to 1 sugar to water. All right? Because we're going to be putting in so much other stuff, we need a lot of water in here. So go ahead and put in, we're putting in 2 cups of sugar, but you would need 8 cups to get this thing done. pre-measured this, so just gonna pour slowly. Pretty good. The low-carb cocktail guy is cringing. Yes, the low-carb cocktail guy probably, he's probably not used to this much sugar. I believe that we might give old Frank a little heart attack. Hopefully you're all right, Frank. Hopefully you're coming up with new ways to make this into a low-carb situation. I am not. If you go blind and have to listen, what is the sound of one lime squeezing? That's the sound I make. That's the sound I think one lime squeezing is. We need 3 orange peels. All right? We need 3 orange peels. We're going to go ahead and put in 3. Oh, I guess we'll go down here. We're going to go ahead and put in the peels of 3 oranges. I'm only putting in 1, but 3 orange peels is what we're going to need. We're going to get right here. Remember, when we do this, we want to put our peeler up here and then move the orange, not the peeler. Do not cut with this peeler. This peeler is meant to stay very, very, very close and very, very still. Let's go back in here. Maybe I'll just do it here. Oh, maybe that's probably the way to do it. We're just going to slowly drop this in here. Now, I am making this tonic to match a gin that I used to use all the time called Booker's. Booker's is a pretty, it's kind of a citrus forward. It's got some juniper forwardness. We are trying to match our tonic. So if you have a gin, we're trying to match our tonic to our gin. If you have a gin that is different, something that's really grapefruit forward, say like our good friends over at Brando, a little grapefruit in here would be great. You can match it however you'd like. I'm giving you guys a pretty basic recipe for tonic, and then you guys can add whatever you'd like from there. These are lemons. We're going to go ahead and put in 3 peels of lemons. I'm only putting in 1 peel of lemon because, again, I only manage 1 bar now. Dr. Cush's exotic drinks. There we go. Get that in there. Maybe we don't need to see this at all. Let's just see if we can't win an award here. I'm gonna move this up a touch. Move that there. There we go. Now we don't need to see that bit on. Okay. Oh yeah, that's way better. We also need a lime. So we're gonna just do the peel of the lime. This lime is seen better days. It's a touch what we call old. It's gotten a little bit ornery here. This is when limes get real dangerous. So everybody say a little prayer for old Dr. Cush. Remember, move the fruit, not the peel. There we go. We're going to do 1 more, and then we're going to call that a day. That's good. Right there. Perfect. So what we would need is the peel of 2 oranges, the peel of 3 lemons, and the peel of 3 limes. I have 1, 1, and 1 in here because I'm making a much smaller batch. I will stop explaining that at this point. Bonbon kind of... you can go over it in the secret simple recipe. I don't know what's going on. Move the fruit, not your hand. That's exactly right. Hello, Paul. What am I making? A witch's brew? I'm making tonic. We are done with Halloween. I'm making tonic water. All right, we have this in here. We are going to add the most important ingredient next. This right here is something that I don't know a lot of people, if a lot of people have this at their place. Not this amazing little glass here. A lot of people have those. These are from Amazon. This right here, this very red bark is called cinchona or cinchona or cincona. No idea. Never heard it pronounced. I've only ever read it. Cinchona is where we got quinine from. So you will notice that most versions of tonic water come in very clear. Very clear. In fact, they just look like soda water. I've made that mistake. Take a little sip. I think it's soda water. It's quinine. Right back, like a lemon squeezing. I go like this. It's incredibly red. That is the color that we want for our tonic. Obviously, having a pink gin and tonic is going to surprise some people. They're not going to know what hit them. I would like a gin and tonic. Okay, here's your gin and tonic. It's pink. Brother, can't you see? I'm a dude. I don't want pink drinks. We need to calm that down. Had a whole conversation with myself right there. We need to calm that down. The cinchona is where we're getting the quinine. So we're going to go ahead and take this cinchona. This is we're looking for about 2 ounces. So by weight of cinchona, this is a little less, but there we go. Let's bring in cinchona cam. There we go, right there. That's what we got so far. Pretty simple, pretty easy. From here on out, once you get your citrus in there, citrus, sugar, water, and cinchona, that is a basic version of tonic water. You can absolutely stop right here if you want. It's going to be a very plain tasting cinchona water or a quinine tonic water. Very plain tasting, but you can stop right here. You have all the basic ingredients. That's not quite as fun. From here, you get to expand however you want to by finding different spices and herbs and whatever else you want to put in here to make your tonic water your own. I recommend playing around. I will show you my version of this because I used to match it to a specific gin. I'm not sure I would do this anymore because I don't use broker's gin anymore. But for that, I would take a little bit of this guy. This is lavender. Look how beautiful that lavender is. It's so freaking purple. Awesome. I love the flavor of lavender going through this. You want to put in lavender to taste. I'm saying about a tablespoon if you're doing a large batch, or about a teaspoon if you're doing a small batch. Let's bring in small batch cam. There we go. Just like about that much right there. See, now Tiki Tom's already on top of it. Elderflower tonic water is the bomb. If you want to throw some elderflower in here, you would be in business. Absolutely, you would be in a good shape to throw a little bit of elderflower, a little bit of elderberry, even maybe. I think you guys would find that you can make this tonic to exactly your specifications. I always really like putting in allspice berries. These guys right here are allspice berries. Allspice berries have a bit of a tiki connotation. You know, the little pimento. There's a lot of tiki flavors going on in here. Also a lot of big Christmas flavors. So we're going to throw just a few allspice berries in here. Again, to taste, I'm putting in about a tablespoon, which means about a teaspoon today. There we go. And I always really enjoyed some cardamom. This is cardamom. Cardamom lends itself well to making a homemade tonic taste more like a store-bought tonic. It has that bitterness that we're looking for. You don't need a lot of this. I usually put about 6 in a big one, so we'll put in 3 on this one. And from there, I'm going to throw in just a touch of star anise. We're just going to take one little star, one little version of star anise right here. We're just going to drop that in. I said earlier that you could be done with adding your ingredients and be fine. One other ingredient that you definitely want to throw in here is going to be some citric acid. I had no idea how difficult citric acid was to find. I always order it from Amazon. It shows up pretty easily. Very, very simple. But I didn't realize that I'd run out of citric acid today and panicked and drove around to multiple stores, Whole Foods and Sprouts and Vaughn's and all that stuff. Turns out Sprouts did have it, but I had already found more at home. So anyway, if you can't find citric acid in any of the stores around you, totally understand. Instead, Amazon is your best friend for this kind of stuff. It lasts forever. It is a preservative already. It is a preservative already, so it will last you forever. So don't worry about overbuying citric acid like you would, say, overbuying limes. I have overbought limes currently, and now my limes are going bad. Don't worry about overbuying citric acid. Citric acid will stick around forever. It's a preservative, and that's what keeps this sort of in business as well. We need to go ahead and put in, we are looking for about, let me just bring up my note real quick. Sound like I'm so, like I got my whole life together, and then suddenly I forget what I'm doing. Oh, in the sheets. There we go. There we go. I need you to put in, hold on. I never did this, to be fair. Oh, okay. 2 ounces. So put in about 2 ounces of citric acid. Let's take that in case I want to cut this down. Put in 2 ounces of some citric acid. We are, of course, making a smaller version, so I'm doing ½ an ounce of citric acid. That stuff is very acidic. It is very shocking when you have any kind of citric acid. When you think that it's sugar, you put it onto like a donut and you eat it. That's not a great day. Not going to be your favorite donut. Very memorable donut. You will certainly not forget the donut that had the citric acid on it. But that is what we got. Now we boil. All right. We are going to throw this. Let's get a spoon. That's a good one. You know what I forgot to put in here? And I forgot to bring in? Kyle, if you get a second, buddy, we bring in a little salt. Because we have so many big flavors in here, adding a little salt will help not only make the flavors feel like they're all standing out, but they will separate each other. So when you have things like this, it doesn't hurt to put in a little salt. You don't obviously want this to taste salty. You instead just want it, oh, I guess I gotta plug it in otherwise. Oh, it is plugged in. There it is. You don't want this to taste salty. It's not the idea. You just want that salt in there the same way you would salt a steak. You want that salt to sort of do its thing. Kyle, you want to, oh. What is that? Is this a thing that you, what is it? Oh. What did you give me? Okay, I guess this is where Kyle keeps his salt. I didn't realize Kyle was an Incan shaman, but apparently he is. So this is where Kyle keeps his salt. I didn't know what was going on here. This is great. Kyle, we're just going to pour this whole thing in there, so sorry about using lots of your salt. Just a pinch of salt. This is ridiculous. Oh, gosh, I forgot a whole step because it was sitting behind me. Oh, it is called a salt pig. It's called a salt pig, I guess. One last thing I'd like to put in here. Sorry, I had my bar backs. I had to go back through my notes to find this. I did not. I've not made tonic water in years and years. This right here is lemongrass. Lemongrass and lemon certainly give a very similar flavor, but they definitely are separate. So throw in 1 stalk for a large pot, 3 stalks of lemongrass. For this small pot, we're going to be putting in 1 stalk of lemongrass, something nice and fresh. And let that go. Now, we're going to boil this up. We want this to come to a nice rolling boil, and then we're going to turn it down and simmer. You will know that this is ready when you start to see that this is starting to turn red. When it starts to turn red or pink, I guess, you are going to, that's when you're starting to leach out the quinine. While this is going, let's talk about quinine. What exactly is quinine? Well, quinine has been a medicine for a long, long time. If you've ever worked in a bar and on your first day, they hand you what's called the soda gun. It's that thing where the bartenders, in the first row, 3 down on most soda guns is a little button that says Q. Everybody thinks it's because the T was taken from, I don't know, tea, actual tea. I don't know what comes out of those things. But you always see the Q. The Q does not stand for tonic with a Q, T-O-N-I-Q. A lot of bartenders think that. Tonic water comes from quinine. Quinine comes from the cinchona bark, the cinchona tree. It was clearly a big deal in Peru. For a while, it was called Peruvian tonic. But what the British decided, and this is very British of them. I'm learning a lot about the British as I do more and more research into different versions of British cocktails. Things like the grog. The grog was meant to cure scurvy. Obviously, the grog was meant to cure scurvy. These sailors were dying, their teeth were falling out, and so they started to mix their lemon and lime with their daily rum, and suddenly everybody felt better. Felt a little drunker, but they felt better. Same situation here. The British sailors were traveling all over the world. They were going places, and what do places in the world have? Malaria. That's what they have. They have malaria, and so British soldiers were dying of malaria, and it was awful. It was terrible, and we couldn't get them to drink their tonics. Tonic is just an old word that means like a health drink, basically. Tonic comes in all kinds of, there's all kinds of different things that you can make tonic. We just have now the gin and tonic, which really should be, if we were going to call this right, we should be called the quinine tonic and gin, or the gin and quinine tonic. That's what this is. Turns out the British, who were traveling all over the world, decided that they were sick of their soldiers dying of malaria. So they started making this quinine syrup, or this quinine tonic, and it was horrific. It really is bad. If you are just taking a bit of quinine and dropping it into a little bit of gin, first of all, that's how you go blind. Second of all, it is disgusting. Quinine is so bitter and gross, it is hard to overstate it. Anyway, they started to make this quinine tonic, and then they started to add some sugar to it. Spoonful of sugar, etc., etc., etc. And then, in order to get them to drink it, they started adding gin. The places where the sailors were going that had malaria was also the places that had the roots that were on the gin roots. The places they were going where they were getting scurvy, well, that, of course, was just the grog roots. But it was a British soldier kind of situation. They mixed their gin, mixed their tonic, and so in order to make the gin and tonic sort of a cohesive thing, we started to add different herbs, like you saw me adding earlier. All these things to match with the gin that was going in. That way, it didn't taste like medicine. It didn't feel like it was such a brutal, disgusting version of this stuff where when you have to take your medicine. They added it with gin, and they started making match gin. And that is why tonic tastes the way it does now. It's supposed to match gin. So what we've done today is matched it to an old gin friend of mine. I am now, at this point, now that I've rehashed my old gin tonic days, I'm going to try and match a tonic to a few of my favorite gins, things like Martin Miller's and Brando gin. I'm afraid everybody's left me. All right, we're going to turn this up way high. We're just going to give this a stir. The sugar should disappear first. Let's bring this in right there. We haven't even gotten to a boil yet. We could be in for a pretty long class. Probably should have made this beforehand, but maybe we like watching water boil. We're going to bump this up as much as we can. This is the soup that we want. It shouldn't taste like anything yet, so we're gonna wait. Bitter and gross, like a lot of jobs I've had. That's about right. Very interesting class. Thank you, Bon Bon. Very cool jar, Espen. Moose likes the jar there. Kyle. Yeah, nobody likes their jobs. I don't like my jobs either. I like this one. Can't really call this a job though yet. You have to make at least some of your living. You can't just like keep the bar open for it to be a job. Okay, we're gonna okay, this is starting to get a little bit of steam coming off. That's what we want. We're gonna go up high. You can't give it a taste. We're really going to try not to eat any cinchona. Again, I like being able to see. Don't want to die. Yeah. It's a little limey. Citric acid. Starting to taste some of that. Little sugar. Thank you. I think as long as I'm with this group, I'll be okay watching paint dry. I mean, I love the camaraderie. Do not like what that says about my ability to host a show, but I do like that. I'm not gonna feel bad about that. There we go. Getting this going. Obviously, with heats, we're gonna start to extract all of those big flavors. Those big flavors are gonna come into play. If midway through this you decide, hey, I really don't want to have I don't want to have like I want to have more of a tropical tonic. I think maybe adding a little bit of grapefruit, maybe a little papaya in here will give you a really fun version of tonic. If you decide I'm really looking for all that pine, I really like the taste of gin, and thus I'm going to go out and find some juniper berries, throw in juniper berries to get all of that gin flavor. You certainly can get that going. Kyle says stare deep into the pot. That's what we're doing. Just staring into the pot. Give this a little stir. Cocktail Lulu smells children. Oh, God. This group makes everything better. Couldn't agree more. It's like the witch's pot from Hansel and Gretel. Very similar. It's a little less sweet, but not by much. We want this to kind of become a rolling boil. So we're waiting for that to hit. Should have found something in between to do, but now I guess we'll just stare at each other for a little bit. Let's see what else. Oh, I hear it. This sounds delish. I couldn't agree more. So the reason that I even began making this stuff, this was not anything that I was looking to do. I worked at a bar. I opened a bar called the Queensberry. I think you guys have heard me talk about it before. I opened up a bar called the Queensberry. Inside the Queensberry, they had one soda gun. Not even a soda gun. It was actually a fountain that you would pull like this, and it gave out, and I'm not kidding, and I still miss it to this day. I don't know if I'll ever go back in there and grab any of this, and I don't even know if it's still there. They had the greatest soda water of all time. I am telling you, we love Topo Chico. We love, we love great soda waters. There are great soda waters in the world. There was nothing better. It carbonated it in a big carbonation machine as it went out to these things. It was designed by a guy named Alex Day. Alex Day opened up a bar called Death & Co. He wrote a number of books. I have a number of his books here. Good guy. But he was not a guy that was ever going to make a rum and Coke. And if he was going to make his own homemade Coke syrup, which we will get into. We will also be making homemade Coke syrup during the fall of Fizz. But he didn't want to have any just regular Sprite from the gun on his stuff. He didn't want to have tonic. I don't know if they just didn't make those drinks while they were opening the bar. Their bar used to be called the Honeycut. Then we came in and opened up the Queensberry afterwards. I don't know, but I knew from the clientele that we had, the clientele that we were going to be advertising to, that we would have to be making some gin and tonics, some rum and cokes, some tequila sodas. Tequila soda's fine. Tequila Sprites, that kind of thing. So I had to learn how to make all of these different syrups in order to go. We, for a while, just had tonic water. We would open it up and pour it out. But that was boring. That was just super boring. So I got bored with that. And I learned, after many, many hours, many, many days inside of a bar, I learned how to make my own tonic water after reading exactly where tonic water came from. And we eventually got into something that looks a lot like this. Now, I used to make this in huge pots. Huge pots. I mean, we're talking cauldrons this big. We would make them in. And it was awesome. It was delicious. The problem with it is the moment you tell anybody that you are going to be handing them a gin and tonic, they want to see a nice, clean, crisp drink. I was never able to do that. It turns out that the reason that tonic is clear in the first place is due, this is going to be hilarious, reason the tonic's clear in the first place is because they don't use cinchona bark anymore after the very first process. What they do is they extract the quinine through science. I don't know exactly how that works. Maybe crush it with a microscope or something. And then they use that extract, which is something that you can get your hands on if you know the proper people. So they don't use cinchona bark anymore other than in the very first part, and then they send out quinine. But all quinine comes from cinchona. And then from there, all you got to do is make a lemon lime sugar and natural extract version of cinchona. It's just always so interesting to me that people make really nice tonic waters. You know, Fever Tree makes a really nice tonic water, but their tonic water is clear. So that means they're starting off at a place where they're not extracting the quinine. Maybe they are extracting quinine themselves. They're not using cinchona bark in order to get that quinine out, which is sort of losing out on some of the cool, the coolness. I don't know a better word for this. The cool parts of making this tonic. Let's show you guys what we're up to here. Got a rolling boil going. We can look in here. We can start to see that definitely this is becoming red. Harder and harder to see the bottom of this. That cinchona bark absolutely infuses into the water very quickly, and it gives it a really cool flavor. I really wish that we could go back to having tonic water be red, but it must be more expensive. I'm sure that they can I've never even tried to extract tonic water or quinine out of cinchona bark other than just by boiling it into water. I don't know what it is. I had a thought today. I don't think this is going to work. But if we really want to have clear tonic water, there is a way to like agar wash this or to milk wash this. The issue with that is, of course, going to be we don't want to have this be like a milky tasting thing. Tonic water is supposed to bite. It's supposed to get you. Tonic water, if you mistake tonic water for soda water, you're supposed to make a face. It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be too bitter for you. So I don't think we're going to milk wash it. I think we are going to be on team red tonic water. I think that's going to be important for us. Wow, look at this. We are, thank goodness we have the GoPro up here. It's going through hell. Ooh, there we go. Get all that off. Let's just take this off here real quick, see what we got for, oh yeah. So we got real good color going in through here. I would usually boil this for, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe. We're losing people as we do this, but there we go. It's good to stare at each other while we all can see, in case anybody screws with the recipe. That's a good point. That's a good point. Well, we all, I swear, listen, if we could all just please sign some sort of contract that says we are not and will not be drinking too much tonic water, so that old Dr. Cush doesn't get thrown in jail for making a bunch of people go blind. I suppose it would be easier if eventually, I mean, if we all just went blind, I could just run this as a podcast. I wouldn't have to worry about this anymore. I wouldn't have to put a shirt on anymore to do this. I almost never am wearing pants, so that's good. The pants, my whole pants situation can stay pretty solid, pretty stationary. But, you know, the whole shirt thing, that becomes a problem. Gonna keep stirring. Hello, Loriander. Good to see you. I'm very intrigued by this. Not to get ahead of class, I'm assuming we'll need a soda stream for this in the end. That's a piece of equipment I don't have. You will not, of course, need a soda stream, Dougie G. I do not have a soda stream. This is going to be quinine syrup that we're making. Same way that we would make any kind of fizz, we are going to, in order to make our tonic water, or our gin and tonic, we're going to be adding a little bit of lemon, a little bit of syrup, and a little bit of soda water. And that is how we make stuff. Maybe I didn't finish the rest of my story. Anyway, the Queensberry that I used to work at had only the one pull. And so thus, I was able to make some of the best sodas in the world because I had this great soda stream machine, this, you know, just pull it on. But then all these syrups that I could make throw that in there, and now you had these teeny tiny little bubbles inside of your soda. It's amazing. Yeah, Loriander, I assume you already did a huge warning of the use of quinine. I have already done it, and I have done it twice since. Loriander knows. Be very careful with quinine. Be very, very careful with quinine. This is not a recipe that you can just make and sit and chug. Quinine will make you go blind. So be very careful. Half the flavor of Cheeky Drinks is in the atmosphere. Couldn't agree more. Hello, Crazy Cat Chef. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Never a chore. Look, I'm just waiting for when we add the booze. It's coming soon, Paul. Don't you worry about that. We're all good. Yes. Douglas, Dougie G says, yes, we have got that. We have that warning. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. Yeah, I think we're pretty good here. All right, we're going to turn this off. Now, fun little piece of information for you. Hi. Fun little piece of information for you. In my notes, I have notes on this thing. The first note I have on this is tonic can be doubled, and you should use all of the whole ingredients in here 2 times. So if you have anything in here, so if you have anything whole in here, what I mean by whole is like the allspice berries, the cardamom, the cinchona bark, all that stuff. Because it was expensive, I found that it wouldn't really drastically change the flavor if I would use this 2 times. As long as I did it in quick succession, I can make 2 batches of this. So if you are making this for a huge party, usually what I will do is I will make half of what I want in the first and half of what I want in the second. That way I get all the flavor out of everything, plus all the water gets used. All the water gets to have an equal bit of this stuff. Then what I'll do is I'll combine those 2 so that the weaker version and the stronger version come together, and we get like a medium version, the mama bear version, sometimes we call, or sorry, I guess that's the baby bear version, that kind of thing. Okay. Love gin and tonics and wear glasses. Correlated? I don't, let me just say, Cocktail Lulu. Loriander knows about this. I know about this, and a number of other people that have decided that they were going to go into the tonic water making business know about this. I don't know about anybody else. This is my thoughts. And to be very honest, I have only heard tales of this making people go blind. I've never actually, let me just get this out of here, then I'll continue my story. I've never actually met anybody that went blind from quinine tonic. I've never met that person. It clearly happens because they warn you about it almost instantly. The moment you know, if you've ever put like one time I was trying to make like a charm of myself, like for a bracelet, and I put self-harm instead of self-charm. The moment you put that in, you get that suicide warning. It says, do not hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Everything's going to be fine. If you need it, call the thing. I'm like, listen, guys, I'm good. Okay, everything's cool over here, but I appreciate that you did that. Same thing the moment you start looking for quinine to make your own quinine, somebody will say, stop. Know what you're doing beforehand. Read all of this, read all these newsletters that we have. Read all this stuff. And then if you decide after that that you want to keep making quinine, you are good to go. I don't think that it makes you go slowly blurry-eyed. I think it makes it so that you suddenly, so that it goes dark. But I don't know. Why isn't there a warning label on my bottle of Fever Tree? That is an amazing question. I have literally no idea. I think they should have it. I think, first of all, that would make gin and tonics a lot cooler. Right now, gin and tonics are sort of relegated for some reason to like a person in their 70s that really that wears high pants. I feel like that's what everybody says about gin and tonics. I think gin and tonics are about the coolest drink you can. And to quote our good friend Loriander, it can actually kill you as well. Possibly the most dangerous part about a gin and tonic is not the gin. is probably the tonic. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they are not using enough quinine at all. Maybe they're using other herbs to give you that bitter taste. I don't know. Maybe it's too watered down. Possibly. Possibly that's the case. We are making a fairly concentrated syrup. So that could be it. How do we do it here? Let's we're gonna just try and win an award here. There we go, right there. Yes, Kukakdulu is gonna live on the edge and have a double. Good for you. There are other things my parents told me would make me go blind too. That might explain the glasses. There you go. I mean, listen, that's funny. My gin and tonics are pink from Angostura. That's a good way to make them pink. That is absolutely a good way to make them pink. We're going to go ahead and pour this out. Now, this is the color that we're looking for. It's lovely, dark, and deep. Now, we have all this stuff left over. Before when I had stuff left over, I would make a little shaker. You know, when we made the falernum, when we made the falernum powder, all pretty good, pretty delicious. I would not recommend grinding this stuff up. I don't think you should be eating cinchona bark. I just don't think that's a wise decision made by anybody. So you can use this for a second time to make a second batch of, how many grams did I use in this batch? So, Loriander, I didn't use any ounces of real quinine. I didn't actually extract quinine. Instead, we put in cinchona bark, which is where quinine comes from. So we are not getting out the maximum version of quinine. Instead, we are getting this right here, which is more, this right there, which is more or less of a quinine syrup. All right. We don't, I just don't mess with putting in concentrated quinine into anything. I would like to say again, I've been making this for a long time. I've had a lot of these gin and tonics. I have never, ever once ever had anybody go blind. 0 people out of the hundreds of people that have had my gin and tonics. Yeah. Looks like we would have to consume all the quinine, right? Looks like we'd have to consume all of the quinine, right? And something like 20 grams of cinchona bark to be dangerous. How many grams is an ounce? Dang it. We should look that up. Grams to ounces. Oh, God. Okay, let's go it the other way. OZ to gram. 28 grams is in an ounce. I put in half an ounce. We're talking, do this again. 20 grams of cinchona bark to be dangerous. Okay. Well, don't eat the cinchona bark then. 20 grams of cinchona bark to be dangerous. There's about 20 grams of cinchona bark in this. But, again, I want to say boiled. Boiled down. This isn't a... Lord almighty, shush. This isn't concentrated. We are only going to be putting in about 2 ounces of this into any one of our cocktails. I wouldn't recommend at this point to just take this and chug it. I wouldn't recommend to do it. Old-timey British sailors would be devastated. Old-timey British sailors are devastated anyway. They don't fit in anymore. That's their issue, not ours. Let's grab a cup. Let's make a delicious gin and tonic. Show you exactly how this gin and tonic should look. What should we put it in? I'm gonna find the most British cup I can. Oh, you know what? This is a great cup for a gin and tonic. This right here It's how the Spaniards drink gin and tonic. So we're going to go ahead and put this into a big old gin and tonic. Obviously, tonic and gin, very well known, or made specifically for their aromas. That's what they do. They do very well with the aromas. So what better glass than to drink one of those in this guy? This is a large Spanish gin and tonic glass. Some people call it a wine glass. I don't drink that much wine, so not for me. This is how we're going to build our gin and tonic with our tonic syrup. We're going to go ahead and put in 2 ounces of our gin. We're basically going to match gin to tonic syrup. So 2 ounces of some tonic syrup. We're going to win an award real quick. Let me just knock this down. There we go. Put this up. I just want this to look nice. There we go. Perfect. Does that make anybody else queasy? We're going to be putting in 2 ounces of our homemade tonic syrup. Still very hot. A little nervous that this is going to crack a glass. Well, cracks glass, I guess. We're going to be putting in 2 ounces of gin. You got to find a gin for me to use. We are out of DC Debbie Clark's gin, so we have to find another gin. Oh, you know what I have? I got Hartman's gin. 1 second. Let me just find it. It's down here somewhere. That's vodka. No. Kyle, is there a gin sitting right out there? Possibly a one from like a pink gin? Is there Brando gin sitting out there? Would you mind bringing me a little Brando gin there, Kyle? Oh gosh, you guys started talking and I didn't see it. We love Spanish G&Ts. Louisiana Santa Barbara is known for them and used to have them. One with sangria foam. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Tincture is less. Oh, thank you, buddy. This is not 2 ounces, but we're going to figure it out. We're going to put in 2 ounces. Yeah, you bring the other one, I think, probably. 2 ounces of some gin. Oh, you know what, Kyle? That was exactly 2 ounces. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's go through this. Referring to tonic water via Google, a liter normally has 83 milligrams of quinine. An 8-ounce glass would therefore have roughly 20 milligrams, 1/10 the lowest dose doctors prescribe for leg cramps. Yes, bring it in anyway. Thanks, buddy. We're learning all about quinine. Thank you. Peace. Peace in the Middle East, brother. Okay. Even 3 glasses daily should be okay as long as you are not sensitive to quinine. Wait. 30. Approximately. Okay. I just want to make sure that we're all saying all the right stuff. Referring to tonic water via Google, a liter normally has 83 milligrams of quinine. An 8-ounce glass would therefore have roughly 20 milligrams, about 1/10 the lowest dose doctors prescribe for leg cramps. Okay. Even 3 glasses daily should be okay as long as you are not sensitive to quinine. Tincture is less. Tiki Tom just enters 30. Okay. Nobody's been hitting the Brando. Somebody has been hitting the Brando. I hit the Brando. Why is the gin always gone? The gin is always gone. What we learned from this class, that drinking mixers is like playing Russian roulette. That's honestly, Paul, that is exactly what we learned from this class. I don't want you guys ever to just sit around and drink mixers. That is a recipe for disaster. Let's go ahead and put in some ice here. There we go. Lots and lots of ice. And then, because of course we are in the fall of Fizz, a little bit of soda water, never hurt nobody. Get this out of the way. We're using our Topo Chico. Topo Chico did, of course, win the best soda water in Dr. Cush's exotic battle box. since we're making a nice gin and tonic, I figured we'd bring in the good soda water. We're gonna put in about 4 ounces of soda water. So 2 parts. So it's basically gonna be 2 parts soda, 1 part gin, 1 part of the quinine syrup. Oh, not that one. Not that one. That one. Now, obviously, this does not look like any type of oh gosh, all got higgly piggly. This doesn't look like any type of gin and tonic you've ever seen before. It is not clear. It is very, very cloudy, kind of brown, a little bit of pink. We are going to throw in 1 large piece of, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get real bougie with this. We're going to take one of these guys and we're just going to stick that there to the side. And there we have it. This right here, a homemade gin and tonic. We didn't make the gin. We didn't really do anything with the soda water. We just made the tonic water. It should have a little bit of bitterness. It should match well with the gin. If you've done this right, please don't drink too many of these. First of all, gin isn't, great for you. And tonic water can make you go blind or possibly kill you. So cheers to your health. Yes. It's very nice. I can tell right now that the gin does not match the tonic. So obviously, if you find a gin that you love, you're going to want to move things here and there. Move this here, move that there, figure it out. But you should be left with kind of that dry flavor afterwards. That's going to come from the cinchona. You should be left with pops of other flavors. And from there, you should be in a good spot. And I think, guys, we've done it. I think that is that is what we got. Let me know if you guys make this. Yes, this is a real homemade cocktail. No doubt about it. This is a real homemade cocktail. I should rename this drink the LA River because of the color. Probably true. The ringing in our ears is just nature's way of saying cheers. That's exactly right. If you did do this right, cinchona, quinine specifically, is also supposed to help you with restless leg syndrome. Now, I am not a doctor. I'm not a real doctor. But so I'm not gonna recommend that you ever drink this for restless leg syndrome. Talk to your doctor about that. But it's not all bad. That's what I'm saying. Espen says next time we can make our own gin. We have to talk to my producer about that. My producer says that I am not allowed to own a still or any still device because, as she says, you're not blowing up our house or the bar. So, if you guys can convince her that I can own a still, we will absolutely... Just heard Jen yell, hell no. Great. You can convince her that I should own a still, we could turn this whole channel into a distilling channel. And boy, oh boy, would that be fun. I would learn a lot. And you guys would see me swear because distilling sounds hard. That's what we got. Oh gosh, you know what we should do real quick? Just to make sure that we still got it. One second. I'm going to invite you guys over to the VIP room. I think. Gotta figure out where it is. Oh, here it is. We're going to invite a guest. Copy link. Just in case you guys want to pop over. Say hi. Paste. You guys can do that. And it's the same. It is the same code. That's a glove. That's a glove. I'm allergic to explosions, says Crazy Cat Chef. That is tough. Did you try the Spanish vodka? I have not tried the Spanish vodka yet, Paul. I figured soon, Paul, out of nowhere, gave me a bottle of vodka for my birthday. So I am very excited to try it. I would love to do a vodka battle box at some point. I have in the past, Jen has seen me do it. I have been able to tell the difference between Grey Goose and Kettle One and Smirnoff. Smirnoff, one of the other ones. Tito's. I was able to tell the difference between those 3 vodkas. People were very impressed. People were very impressed. I don't know if I can still do it, but maybe I can, and we'll figure it out. There's this, if you guys want to pop into the chat real quick, say hi. If not, no big deal. I probably should have put this up earlier. You know what? I'm going to run these credits. Maybe we'll do a post-credit situation. Cocktail, here's hillbilly music. I wish. Now, that's a classic psychopath. Tell the difference between vodkas. Absolutely. Guys, remember, these classes will always remain free, but if you can't help out, there's a couple ways you can do it. I have a Patreon, I have a Venmo, and I have a PayPal, all attached, and they are all down there in the comments. This is a labor of love. This is my favorite thing that I've ever done, and that anybody else watches it makes me absolutely emotional like you wouldn't believe. It's going to make me want to drink 4 or 5 gin and tonics tonight, go blind. But you know, doesn't make any money. Just to keep the lights on, the PayPal and the Patreon and the Venmo are incredibly helpful, just to keep this thing going, because my goodness, who knew that having a bar that didn't have any customers wouldn't be a great business opportunity? I tried to tell people, and everybody said you're an idiot. And you know what? Turns out they might be right. But if you guys can help out that way, that's great. If not, can't help out that way, the best way you can help is next best way you can help is to tell your friends about it. Hey, I know this guy, his name's Cush. He's running a bar online. Shows up Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Come in, say hi. If you can't do that, do exactly what you're doing right now. This is the best way you can help. Show up. I do classes Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We're about to get into the dark days of winter. I believe that the daylight savings time is coming. So Espen, daylight savings time is going to be joining. It's going to be hitting us. So the time will change for here. But keep showing up, guys. I love having you here. I'm going to run these credits. If you guys want to come into the VIP room, let me know. If not, I will see you next time. What do we always say? The thing doesn't work. We always say things like, "Are you Dr. Jenga Jenga?" And then we say, "Look at this new Oh, all right. It looks like we do have 2, so we're just going to try this out, see if this all works. Let's start by bringing in... Oh, I got to get down to this. 1 second. We're learning how this all works. Get down to here, and then we're going to bring in Doug and Lulu. Doug and Lulu, how are you? Oh, you guys are sideways for some reason. Hello. Hi, guys. Can you hear us?
We're sideways.
Can you hear me? There we go. Can you guys hear me? No, you can't hear me yet. 1 second. How's that working? All right. It looks like we're better. 1 second. We're going to... give me 1 second. We're just figuring this out. Disable video. We're going to go into this. Check, check. All right. Can you guys hear me? Why does it say no audio? You can't hear me? Yeah, that's mine. That's me. Okay. Check, check. Can you hear me now?
Oh my God.
Yes, it works. Let's also bring in our good friend, Tiki Tom. It's Tiki Tom, everybody. Yay. All right. Oh, guys, 1 second. There we go. Much better. Cheers. Tiki. Oh, yeah. Look at you guys all in the red shirts. Looking good. Tiki Tom, what are you drinking?
Willet pot still bourbon.
Ooh,
You got me saying vodka. Yeah,
I know, man. I know. Yeah, vodka. Listen, don't blame me. Blame Paul. Paul's the one that kept saying vodka all night. That was insane. He sent me vodka, and now, yeah, vodka all over the place. How is it? Any good? The pot still. What do you like? The pot stills?
It turns out I like pot still better than column still bourbon. Okay. So yes, this is wonderful.
I love it. Yeah, you like a bit more of the kick, a little bit more of that the wheat.
It's got funk to it the same way a Jamaican rum does.
I love it. Well, we're gonna have to get into it. Willet pot still. We're gonna look for it. And you got the glass and ready to go. Doug and Lulu, what are we drinking?
I was drinking G&Ts.
Oh, good. All right. How many fingers am I holding up? Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. I want to mark this. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah. What are you drinking there, Doug?
Dead to port.
Dead to port? Oh, we're gonna have to look.
Cranberry syrup with bourbon and overproof Jamaican.
God, that sounds good. No soda water in it. We can't make it yet. All right. Well, we're gonna get into that. Yeah, send me that recipe. Let's put it up at some point. All right. I'm marking this off as a success now. Just real quick, I'm going to see if I can remove people. And after that, we are good to go. So I'm going to say goodbye to the greens. Greens, always a pleasure, never a chore. Cheers. Thank you. Are you guys removed? Oh, and it's just me and Tiki Tom. Oh, wow. We're working it. Tiki Tom, buddy, I appreciate it. Hey, real quick, people have been asking, how's retirement going?
I can't recommend it highly enough.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, perfect. So that comes straight from the mouth of our good friend Tiki Tom. Retire. Get out of here, guys. It's over. Perfect. All right, buddy. Well, always a pleasure. Never a chore. Thank you so much. Cheers to you, and we will see you on the next. There we go. I went to the wrong thing. We have our VIP room back. Oh, it took forever to get there. But we got it, and now we are ready to go. I suppose you guys can probably go there early and watch. It's going to be the same link every time, so copy that link down until we have somebody horrible in there. We're going to use that same link every time, same exact password as well. That'll be the VIP room. Pop on over there, say hello to me, and we will go from there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for at least trying the gin and tonic. And until Tuesday, what do we always say? Thing doesn't work. Dr. Jinga Jenga. Are you Dr. Jinga Jenga?